I also don't think that I think of all the sports, I think that NBA, the coach probably has like the least, at least
I'm on
in
a
this
pull.
NBA, like the
Yeah,
least direct
yeah,
impact on like the product of the team. I feel
yeah.
like it's more like a locker room like kind of like
You're a
vibe.
manager.
And
You're a manager,
yeah,
basically.
you're
Like
not
you just manage personalities,
the
make sure
least
everybody's
impact.
happy.
So, Record, you're the first person that I've heard say it was because of Joker.
I'm not
The
saying that Joker demanded that he get fired. I'm saying that
But I didn't even hear
right
anything
there.
about that they were like had a beef or anything. I thought they were everything was good. So
No,
what?
no, no. Yeah,
I
you
heard
think
that the
about it
locker room was a
differently. Go
mess.
ahead.
I heard there was beefs,
Yeah.
there was issues with Russell Westbrook and one of the younger players, like playing time and stuff like that. And then I just heard that overall, and you could tell, so here's how I look at it. If you were following, I know not everybody follows the regular season like that close with other teams outside of Boston, but if you if you go back like a couple months ago, Denver, their whole vibe was different. This dude, Russell Westbrook, was like the happiest dude in the league. Like it was like you could tell that they had a good thing going. And then if you look at the
Definitely.
last couple of interviews from Westbrook, like because of like the issues that have been going on, completely different. Like the vibes had changed entirely. So something happened in the locker room. There was some sort of change that
So
happened during this like their little slump that they went on, and they're obviously a team that has championship aspirations. They already won a championship, and to have something like that happen in the season, you either go one way or the other. You either go the energy is about to shift Jalen
Yeah.
Brown
Or
way,
get rid of the
or
fucking.
you
Yep.
fucking fire your coach and
Yeah.
go a more dramatic way. It's one or the other. It's like
all
it's
right.
a crossroad, and the crossroad they decided to part ways with the coach. That's what it was.
So
I
it's
agree
not
with
so
that.
so it's not Russell because word on the street
No,
is I'm
no.
giving y'all a preview of Russell of word on the street. They're saying that it's Russell. The streets are saying it's
Nah.
Russell.
So, bro, that's just the easy scapegoat. So, like, there's been so many times that we've received information about Russell, this and that, and then multiple of his teammates have come out and been like, "This is false. He's a great teammate. He's a great locker room guy." Blah blah blah. I've never heard the opposite. I don't know if Rec
Yeah,
has.
but
Rec is in tune as much as I
coaching and
am.
Oh,
teammates are
I'm
two
saying
different
so.
vibes though.
So,
Coaching and
So
teammates are two
so
different
no
I,
vibes.
no 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 yo Rec, I understand you. What I'm just prefacing my shit. So I'm
So
just saying.
I'm gonna tell you the two. I'm gonna tell you just the two examples. So like they have videos of Joker and Westbrook like buddy like Jokic gets a triple double. They're joking and like Russell's smiling and they're just happy. And then they had an interview where they're asking Russ about the team, and Russ is talking about I can't speak on everybody in the locker room. He's doing that type of interview where like he's like you could tell there's some sort of turmoil going
So
on.
so
Where like oh, I don't know how. I just want to win. He was basically like, I just want to win. I can't speak on everybody else though. When you say something like that, there's something going on because that's not
So,
the
so
vibe that
I
it
agree,
was
I agree,
earlier.
but I just don't think the something going on was between the core. Like if it maybe it was between him and Jamal Murray, since Jamal Murray's not on the court as much, but and they have the similar positions. But like I don't think that whole I can't speak for everyone else is stemming from him and his relationship
The
with
Nuggets fired me. I've
any
done so
honestly
much for the
almost
city.
any of the
They were
starters.
asking
I don't
about
think it's
if they
stemming
wanted
from
to win or
Joker.
not though.
But I don't think it's stemming from Joker. I don't think it's stemming. I think it's like, and then this is partially what I've heard, like from the headlines. They were saying that it's more so Mike Malone giving preference to Westbrook, preference to Joker, preference to Jamal Murray, preference to Aaron Gordon, and the starters, and like the core guys that he won the chip with. So it's like if that's the case, you can see why these young dudes that they've drafted that have potential that are like upset. So like you're focusing on forward players, four out of your starting five, and it's like yeah, everyone else is going to be upset. There's 13 people on the team, so it's like it's not. I don't think it's a Joker versus Westbrook thing. I think it's a everyone else versus these three or four core guys that get these special treatment. But guess what? They might not always perform every night. Yeah,
Okay.
Joker does, but
I
Jamal
don't think
Murray's
Joker
inconsistent and
does.
injured, and then Westbrook is inconsistent and can cost you the game or makes these tough decisions, or Aaron Gordon hasn't been in for whatever the case may be, and that's another thing too. Like these dudes are complaining, and this organization is upset, but this is a team that hasn't been whole. Like Aaron Gordon hasn't played all fucking season, and then Jamal Murray has played
What up,
on
bro?
and off, and then on top of that, you got rid of Bruce Brown and these other dudes that won you chips. And now that you've got rid of these dudes, and then you have these other dudes that can't play a full season, and Joker is by himself with just Russell Westbrook essentially. And now it doesn't look the way you want it to look. And now it's like, hey, you know what? Lakers they blamed him in the media. Let's blame Westbrook in the media. Sure. It's easy. It's easy to do, to just blame one person or blame a coach. It's very easy to do that instead of saying, as an organization, we fucked up. We don't got the pieces to win, and now we have to fucking create a whole different narrative.
Okay, Jules.
That don't look like Happy Joker to me.
Jules, what's your thoughts? We haven't heard from you about the situation. Talk to me.
Honestly, I just feel it was shocking. Honestly, I think when everybody was shocked when this had popped off. Like, it's 4 games left in the season. If you're gonna make any coaching changes, you let it ride out. Like, this is like the core that you won the championship with is Gordon, Joker, Murray, and Porter. Like, that's the core that you won the championship with. Like, you let that ride out. Any coaching changes that you have to make if you get eliminated, cool. It's cool to right after you get eliminated, cool. Fire them. Do what you gotta do. But 4 games left into the season to basically put your team in there blind into the playoffs, basically.
Nuts.
It's kind of wild. It's wild, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I don't think any of us has ever seen. He won what, two championships.
We just started a week ago.
And then you just
not no bullshit. But that wasn't a championship team. This is a championship team this is the coach they won a chip with a few years ago.
But
they were spiraling though.
How bad was they spiraling?
Gordon hasn't played. Gordon hasn't played all season, and then your starting point guard is on and off, and he's inconsistent. So, like, are you spiraling, or do you not have a healthy team?
So isn't that what you have to do as a coach though?
Gordon was going through off court shit. Gordon was going through off the court shit too, also.
Yeah. No, Porter, his brother.
Okay, Porter was.
His brother got caught with the gambling, and then one of his brothers got bodied, right?
I think in the beginning of the season, somebody
bodied somebody. No, his brother bodied somebody, and his other brother was on some fraud, some scam shit with the gambling.
Your man, did you have under that game?
I got a bigger question to ask you guys, right? You see the coach for the Denver Nuggets get fired before the playoffs. Then but before this, a couple weeks ago, we seen the coach for the Memphis get fired, right?
That was crazy. Yep.
So what the fuck is going on with the NBA? Why are coaches getting fired? Playoff teams coaches. This isn't the fucking.
I was just telling you.
This isn't
Wasn't that what we were just talking about?
We was just telling you, like, yo,
no,
it's different now.
No. I get what you're saying. You guys broke it down in terms of team chemistry and stuff. I'm talking about.
They're not wasting time.
That's exactly
the
timing part. The timing part is the question. The timing part.
It comes down to money, bro.
No, but the timing part.
Money.
There's only so many chances that you have. That's the thing. They're not about to blow this run off of a coach, bro. That's what they felt. Yeah. That it was bad enough where they had to get rid of him. Okay. There's stuff that we're never gonna know. Just like we're never gonna know.
But why is that a thing now? Like Jules was saying, it's like you wait till the off season and make it happen. Why is it a thing now? Why is it a thing now? That was never a thing before. I don't know if that I've been lost.
How this is the point. How do you know that it was? How do you know that this situation is common?
Because it happened 2 weeks in a row.
Happened 2 times.
2 times in the last week. So, what do you mean? How's it coming?
No. You didn't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying you're shocked about this. You're saying like it's unprecedented, which it is. Yes, how do you? If we don't know the details behind the scenes fully, then we don't know.
No, Rekka, how long has the league been going on, Rekka? How long is the
league? Hold on. We don't know if this has happened because before.
No, we would know if a coach gets fired for a head team for the playoffs. We would know that.
No,
that's a fact.
Ime got his shit aired out.
I'm saying because here's the thing. So Udoka, we'll never know the
exactly. He got his shit, but he got his shit aired out though.
But was his before the playoffs?
Was his before the playoffs? They had reasoning behind that.
No.
This was in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
Listen.
That's what I'm saying. The timing. That's the thing I'm talking about. Timing.
But here's the thing: if unless you can say or give examples of this situation happening where like a championship team is going into the playoff run and their locker room is spiraling out of control?
All right. Record.
And then they decided to just keep it going and right the ship.
Okay.
Then you don't know. This
Joe
could be a
Mazzulla,
unique situation.
Joe Mazzulla came out with a quote this week. He said the only coaches to not be fired in the last decade after winning a championship is Steve Kerr. So the only head coach to not be fired in the last decade after winning a championship is Steve Kerr.
So put some context. So wait.
The context of that is how do you win a championship and then get fired?
No.
That's what I'm trying.
Put some context.
Okay.
But listen. Put some context behind that.
Answer.
Yeah. Put some context behind that statistic. Most of those guys weren't fired immediately after winning the chip.
Of course.
This is like people that are fired 5 years later.
Yes. Of course.
Shit.
Of course.
Like,
Of course.
Here's
Yes.
You make it sound like.
But that's
these
the quote.
niggas
No,
win a chip,
that's
and
not
then
my
next
quote.
year
That's
they'll
not my
get
quote. That's not my
fired.
quote. That's not my quote. That's
you.
Joe Mazzulla's
you.
quote.
I'm just saying.
That's Joe Mazzulla's
yeah.
quote. That's not my quote.
Guys, here's two reasons.
Go ahead.
The first reason I already said is that the coach in the NBA doesn't matter as much as other sports.
Yes, I like that take. I love that take.
And the second reason, and this is the more relevant reason to the issue,
The
is
timing.
that winning the chip completely changes
Your whole
the
organization.
entire expectations of the team.
True.
Completely change.
True.
All the money changes. Everything changes. So if you have a championship team,
Yep.
This is why you see like successful teams firing coaches, and you just said Steve Kerr's the only one who didn't get fired, because if you're not living up to that championship potential,
Yep.
then expectations, then you got to get up out of here.
The Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
And
I just think
can I piggyback?
I'm back to Jules' point
on that
dude.
too? Can I piggyback off that? So like, also what plays a role into it is like back in the day, these coaches were making more than some of the players on the team. And now the guy at the bottom of your bench probably makes a similar salary to your fucking head coach.
Yeah.
So like now it comes down to a logistical thing where it's not also just about whatever y'all are saying. It's also about money, where it's like instead of cutting a potential player or a player who has potential, we could cut the coach who makes less than him. Like, so it comes down to that as well. It's like, you know what I mean? When you're running a business, there's niggas that make more money and there's niggas that make less money. Back in the day, coaches would make, they technically would be like, oh, coaches have these crazy. When's the last time you were like, where you've seen a headline where it's like, oh, coach is he just got signed for this crazy deal to head coach. That used to be a headline consistently back in the day when sports was a thing. Sure. You don't see that no more. So now it's what the players make more money. So if I'm gonna cut somebody, if I'm gonna have to make a cut or make a change to improve things, I'm gonna calculate.
But this is my counter argument, right? This is my counter argument is that the coach plays a pivotal role in the team chemistry and how the team is moving, right? So my whole argument with you guys on this or discussion, it's not even really an argument, is the head coach, right, has already put a system in place to get us into the playoffs. Now we're going into the playoffs running off of this system. Why not let the system play out for the playoffs instead of making an immediate action of firing him right before the playoffs, like Jules was saying? That's my thing. My thing is about the timing. That's my whole thing about this conversation is why is it that deep that you cannot wait a couple more weeks, that you need to make a change now? Because the interim coach is going to end up running the same system. But the person that implemented...
That's the point.
I feel like that plays into what Rex said, where it was like you have championship aspirations.
I get it.
So it's like you have one last chance. Like it plays into what Rex said. It's like you have one last chance. If Joker is the team, he's the cornerstone of the team. Like, and he says, "Yo, I don't like where we're headed, and if we don't contend for a championship, or if we don't win, or if we don't contend, like I'm gonna be making different decisions. Like it's a business, so they talk to their management and shit. I think it plays into that, where it's like, hey, look, we need to make a change, and like someone said in the chat, it comes down to Joker.
I don't
and I
care.
do believe it comes down to the best player where he had to co-sign that shit and be like, this is the change that we need. I'm not rocking with him. The team has like the water has run dry on this relationship, and we need new energy. And then they brought in some new coach. They've already posted him.
But G,
y'all seen it on
my
Twitter.
final statement on that is my final statement as this as ownership.
That's a good point though. The GM got fired too.
Yeah, my final take. My final take on this is the timing is not right. As a business owner, if I have employees, I don't care if he's the fucking janitor or if he's the last man, like the head coach or the star player of the team. This is the team we put together. This is the roster we put together. We are not making this big of a change before the playoffs. That's it. That's my take. I don't give a fuck if you're Joker, LeBron James, whoever. Bro, suck it the fuck up. This is your head coach. Listen to this nigga for the playoffs. In the offseason, we'll talk about it. Right now, we are not talking about it right now. That's my take. I don't give a fuck if Joker, LeBron James, whoever came up to me as the owner. I'm telling you, sit the fuck down. Listen to this coach. After the season, after the results happen, we'll go have a meeting. We'll figure this out. If we can't rekindle this, I'll give rid of this nigga and we'll figure it out.